What's up, YouTube? It's the King and I'm back with another video. Today is Wednesday, May 7th. It's 7:45. And today is court. I have this court case at 1 o'clock today. Me and my girl will be showing up to present our case, which is really not a case because I'm not counteracting or denying that we didn't owe the rent. Fortunately, even with the grant, fortunately we were able to pay a substantial amount of that balance down. But sadly it didn't zero us out. What's up, YouTube? It's the King and I'm back with another video. Today is May 7th. Today is the court date. It is 7:46 in the morning. The court date is for 1 o'clock. And it's in God's hands now. Let me get over here so I can really talk to y'all on the bench. And so I can really talk to y'all face to face and make my message super clear. So, we have the court case today at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was shooting for a dismissal. I was shooting for us not to have to actually go into court to present our case, because it's not a case whether or not, we didn't owe this, we didn't owe that. It's just the fact of the matter is that the laws in terms of eviction cases are really, really tight in the state of North Carolina. And so, other states, let's take New York, they would have probably gave us a one-shot deal, covered the rent, and had us move forward with probably a promise to pay rent on time and whatever through the property manager or the landlord. But because we breached a condition in the lease, we aren't given any type of, not waiver, but any type of grace. And it's really in God's hands right now, because we don't have the say. I have the paperwork in front of me proving that I've been diligent and working, finding work, constantly on apps, constantly, paying down this balance that we owed. Literally have a job in my hands that I got hired for. Literally passed my road test with Amazon yesterday. And so, this is just a testament to, if the judge is willing to be a person, be humane, consider that, one, the debt was paid, two, the jobs and the payments in which we were able to make them. It wasn't all the grant. The grant was huge. $1,700 in funding definitely got us down. But honestly, if I hadn't gone out, if I wasn't, constantly doing jobs, if we weren't, being sparingly on even food to eat and things of that nature, we wouldn't have made it this far. There would have still been a $2,000 balance. There could have still been a $3,000 balance. And so honestly, the amount in which we're suing for, the $2,145, is rectified. It has been paid. But because of the time frame in which we were sued, the time frame in which, still had employment hanging in the balance, it was just not enough time. And, I want to mention that to the court. I don't know. I'm probably not even supposed to be on a video talking about this case, but listen, this is for educational purposes. Don't hold it against me, YouTube. Don't hold it against me, God, or the judge. But I think this is an eye-opener into the situation. You may be living in a state that does not honor certain things. You may be living in a state where you can't get help and access to resources. And because I can, Doorcast Ministry was a God-sent funding source for us. If I didn't have that, if we didn't have that, like I said, we wouldn't have made it to where we've made it now. And that's just the reality of this whole thing. Doorcast is willing to give us food for the next 3 months at a pantry, which we're definitely trying to get out there to consider. Obviously, we have to take a bus and a cab to get all the way out there, but it's a resource. Where I don't have food right now, we don't have food right now. Not like that, but I'm saying in abundance. We're just scrapping by, doing $30 little hauls. We can't afford to take the dollar that we have and stretch it out on a food. On an extensive food monthly allotment like we've been doing. We've been really scraping by. So, like I said, with this case being a breach of contract, I understand it's all business. But where does my life hang in the balance of business? Where does my life hang in it? Is my life not more than a condition? Is my life not more than a contractual agreement? People make mistakes, things happen, and willing to be diligent in finding funding, working, and paying off the balance, personally, I feel is more than enough. There's breaches in contracts, there's conditions such as criminal activity, such as just other things, and non-payment of rent to me is one of the things that I feel like can be remediated on a easier scale, because money can always be made. When you're doing criminal activity, God forbid, say, someone unalived somebody in their home, even if it was self-defense, those are things that are just way over, just a bit over, $500 payment. And I'm not saying that that person deserves anything less, but I'm saying, like, if we're here to judge, if we're here to kind of weigh the scales and kind of see what's more important and what's not, I definitely say, like, if I can pay $200 and continue my lease for the remainder of the year, for the remainder of the term that I'm here, that's all I'm asking. And so I need the court to see that today. I want the court to see that today. I want the court to understand that this, in losing our home, we're losing our life. And again, the fact that we have remediated it is people that, haven't done anything, won't do anything because they can't. I hate to say that, but they can't. And in the instance where you can, where I have a job now, where we're getting money, $20 an hour is huge, I will be losing my whole life. We will be losing our life, not just our home. Being on the street, I could not sustain a job at Amazon. How would I be working? Where would I be? The safety of myself, the safety of my wife, more importantly, hell, kick me out of the unit, have her stay here. I just couldn't fathom us being on the street, trying to navigate life, not down here without a car. That's insane. Shelter, housing, that's not an option. Shelter, housing, without the safety of a private source, I'm sorry to say, when you're down in the South, I would never see that as an option. I would never see that as an option. No one could prove anything to me on that. So that's just a fact. I don't care where you are, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody wants to be in a shelter now. You have to do what you have to do, but at the end of the day, you're going to do what you need to do to fund your life, because you don't want your stuff in a balance of somebody else. And so that's just the reality of today. That's the reality of the situation, is that our life is in a balance of somebody judging us based on a contract, based on that we breached this contract. And, like I said, things happen. People in my business, clients have not paid me. I've been in situations where I've had to go after people for money. I've been in situations where people breach contracts all the time. But if you're willing to work with me, I'm willing to work with you. Money, we can work out the money. You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do moving forward? Is there an action plan moving forward where we don't have to get into the situation again? So guess what? Now you pay me up front. Now maybe your check goes directly to me and not you. And so I have security every Friday of the month. Every Friday of the month, this is what happens. Or this, bro. So we have this case at 1 o'clock today. I'm just going to be going over my paperwork, our paperwork, and, just going over what actually was breached, just familiarizing myself with certain terms, because I will approach the bench today. I will put my life on the bench today. I will express to the court and to the judge, I'm here. I'm missing I'm missing my third training day at Amazon. I'm supposed to be on a nursery route right now. I'm supposed to be working from 9 to 7. But because of this, and I'm not saying this is anybody's fault but mine, I'm saying that I am diligently willing to work, diligently willing to pay my life, to fund my life. I'm not looking to stay anywhere for free. I'm not looking for a handout. I am not looking for either of that. What this has taught me is that, and this is for anybody going through any situation. Come close, y'all, come close. You may be fighting and battling something, and you think by an action that happened, an outcome that you're supposed to instantly change. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't work like that. You have to want to change. If what you've been doing been allowing you to skate by, and you've been keeping your head above water just slightly, you know what the nervous system is going to do? You know what your body's going to do? You know what your mind's going to say? It's okay. Your nervous system's not going to say that, but your mind is going to say, hey, I made it. I made it through. It's okay. I can continue this. If you go back in the videos, if you've been watching for a while, you'll see the transition from getting evicted in 23, working at Family Dollar, then moving to Walmart, then going through this chain of, having your life basically be a resemblance of all the things that you needed to do and haven't done. I worked like 5 jobs this year. Bro, what? I've constantly been in and out of jobs because I've had to figure out what is worth more. And sometimes it's not even money. Sometimes it's mental, because your mental is what's carrying you. The dollar is too, but your mental got to be okay. And so the construction job, I had to weigh that. $12 an hour was just, it was something that I was working for free. I'm going to put it like that. I was working for free. And so when you got to make decisions like that and hop in one job, but I was still making sure I was doing side work. It wasn't coming in as fast. It wasn't coming in as regular. But my intent, my determination, my grind. And I'm doing that with no car. And so people with a car, maybe without a job or something like that, probably be like, damn, he doing all of that. The guy I met yesterday, for example, he's looking for work. He said he tried to apply at Amazon, but they haven't reached out. And I was telling him, if you want to be a delivery driver, you have to work, you have to basically look for a DSP provider. You have to look for a DSP, because Amazon themselves don't hire delivery drivers, I don't think, at that location. And so he was saying, it's hard. I'm doing DoorDash, I'm doing Uber. It's just not sufficient enough. And I'm like, well, you have a car. So I'm looking at that as a huge resource now. Yeah, it might not be sufficient, but you got Instacart, Spark, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, like so many other platforms to work. And if you work them, you can definitely make your $200 goal. That's absolutely, I don't care what area you're in. I mean, I do care, but you might have to drive out a little bit. You might have to risk it. But it's not a risk, it's an investment. You might have to invest a little bit more into what you're willing to do right now. And that's how I'm seeing things, y'all. For the past 2 years, I have not had a car. It's almost going on 3 years. I thought a car, and I felt like a car was everything, that I needed a car. And I do need a car, trust me. But I'm saying I have resources without. I'm able to take Greyhound, Amtrak, Uber, Lyft. I'm able to make connections with people, you know what I'm saying, and get business cards and them, drive me around, because they need income too. They don't have time to get them payments, that Lyft is sending them. And so, you want all your money up front. We all do. We don't want to be under these managements or under these systems that take half our pay or a third of our pay, and we have to work for $2-3 an hour. No. We don't deserve that. Our world is changing. It has changed drastically. We are not living like we were in the 60s. This is not the 1980s. This is not the 1800s. People are getting paid same day today, within an hour, within a second. Bank accounts are skyrocketing from thousands to millions to billions in weeks. People are getting their stuff together. It's too easy to make money out here. But when you are in a place, a mental place, you don't have physical things, that's even more than just the monetary. I can't make money. You're stuck within yourself. So if you're going through something, if you're going through a financial crisis, know that you have resources. You may not have resources in the idea of, just getting your rent paid tomorrow. But look into your city, your town, your township, your area. Look for resources. Call 211, 311, 511, whatever your information hotline is. Give that a call. Reach out. Find the programs that you will qualify for. they will give you the information you need. Sometimes Google is just not going to do it. You're looking at something different. You're looking at how can I get this, and how they're shooting general things to you based on your keyword search. If you talk to a live person, hey, I'm struggling with rent, I'm behind in rent, where can I get rent assistance for where I am, the town, the community, the location of where I am. Okay, they're going to ask you a few questions, qualified questions. Are you working? What's your household income? What's your median income? What did you make after taxes last year? Questions of that nature. Do you have any kids, children in a home under age 18? And they will email you and text you resources, and they're obligated to even go over them with you so that you understand what exactly the requirements are. Is it an appointment? Is it appointment only? Is it something that you have to call? Do you have to go in person? Is it online only? Do you have to fill out an application? All of these things are necessary, and so that you can move it forward. You don't have to sit home and just pray. And I'm not saying nothing against prayer. I'm saying you can have actual resources come to you. Okay, I did not know this, and I'm learning this as I go, because one thing we do as people is that when we are in need, that's when we start turning the wheel. That's when we start learning. When we don't need it, we don't know it. You understand what I'm saying? Can you tell me all the laws can you tell me all the laws in the handbook? You know what I'm saying? In your state or jurisdiction laws. Do you know your laws? Y'all, I gotta take this phone call. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So basically, that was somebody that I just hit on Craigslist, and they were looking for a painter and a cleaner. And so, one thing I told y'all I started doing was reaching out to. I started to reach out to ads that, even though they were old, they're technically leads, and sometimes people don't do the job correctly. And what will happen is, people don't take down the ads off Craigslist even when they're completed. So that's still a way for me to make connections, even if they don't hire me now, even if they don't hire me at all. You know what I'm saying? They just have a name on file. Hey, I saw this guy's work. He hit me up on Craigslist. It was after the fact, but so now I got a connection. Well, I want him next time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it works where the person didn't do a good job that they hired, and they need someone to go back again. They want to know my rate, and I quote them, and boom, it's a connection. So, like I said, that's how diligent I've been. But going back to what I was talking about specifically, there's resources in your area. You just have to find them. Call your information hotline. Google searches are okay, but again, they're not direct guides sometimes to what you need. And so when you talk to somebody and you give them all the information, what you need, talking to somebody, like going to a library sometimes is the best thing you could do. Back in the day, libraries was a huge resource for us. It wasn't what it is now. You can talk to a librarian, gather information, and get it. So that's what 211 is. And so I want you guys to know that you have access to help. Do not feel like you are alone. You're sitting home. You don't know what to do. You're stressing out. You're not eating. That was me, okay? I didn't know what to do. In 2023, when I lost my place, I did not know what to do. I was investing into Turo, which is a car app, a rental app. And I thought because I needed to make money, that DoorDash was the only option. I could have got funded. We could have saved our whole home. So now knowing I had these accesses to funding and things of that nature because I qualified for it has opened my mind. And I don't want to be here again. I don't think anybody, no one wants to be here again. No one wants to have their home in the balance. No one wants to have their car in the balance, their shelter in the balance. That is not what anybody wants, And so I don't like doing these things because I got to go into court and I got to see a whole courtroom, especially of us, man. I got to see a whole courtroom full of our people with their rent unpaid and their home hanging in the balance, and I got to hear jurisdictions for writs of possessions, and that's not a good experience. It's a very hard thing to go through, just to show up in court and see that. Even criminal court, just to go for a traffic fine and know all your people's in there. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me, man. It's a sad thing, but it's reality. And like I said, I want to be a messenger. I want to help people. At this point in my life and the stuff that I've been through and this, that, and the third, I'm going to tell you the information. Did you know that there's a $30 credit that you can get towards your internet bill? Did you know that you can qualify, if you have Medicaid and food stamps, you can qualify for a free phone via Assurance Wireless, which is like the sister company to T-Mobile? Did you know that, you can get grants and money from charities that will pay your rent or a portion of your rent? Did you know that some states have one-shot deals? I know New York does, where they pay your full rent for one time. Did you know you have access to resources? You can get SNAP benefits, TANF benefits if you have children in the home. You can get there's so much stuff out here. So much stuff out here, guys. And, I hate that. We have to be in a place of need to then need it, but that's just the reality. I appreciate y'all for watching. Pray for us today. We have court at 1. This is it. This is just what I have there's no other defense for this case. I just need the judge to understand that you could be taking away a life and not just a home. Thank you guys for watching. Whatever happens today is in God's hands. I'm just praying. I'm hopeful. I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for this insight. This is exactly how I'm going into court today, with this mindset of letting the judge know that this is not what it seems. And this is not how I even want to live, No one deserves this life. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you so much. Thank you for the likes and the comments and the shares and the advice and even when y'all don't comment advice, y'all be like, yo, what's going on? This, that, and the third. And, oh, that's crazy. Like, that's POV. You know what I'm saying? That's perspective. I don't know how you live your life. You know what I'm saying? You could be a billionaire. I gotta respect it, bro. I don't have to agree with it, but I respect your point of view. I never clap back in comments because that's never needed. You know what I'm saying? If you get disrespectful, I'm just gonna hit the block button. That's all it takes. I'm not going back and forth with nobody. This is my life. I put my life on Front Street. I put my business on Front Street. You guys are on a free platform, bro. And people say, oh, keep scrolling. Bro, that's not how it works. People have your business on Front Street. They see you. They're going to want to engage. That's just what it is. That's just YouTube. That's just Instagram. That's just social media. I appreciate y'all for everything. Thank you for riding with us. Thank you for walking with us. Thank you for just being here. Thank you for being receptive to all this journey, this timeline, this back and forth, this journey. I told y'all it's going to be a journey. And I'm committed to, becoming the king. When I get my crown, bro, man, because everybody is a king. Everybody is a queen. We just got to step into that. That's my whole purpose of this channel. It's to step into who I really am and leave this shit go. And learn and live and go through the mistakes and go through the failures to rise to the top. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you. Like this video if you like this video. Love this video if you love this video. Comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate y'all. It's the king. I'm out.